Imagine for a moment the sensation of warm Mediterranean sun upon your skin, the scent of wild thyme and olive groves carried on a gentle breeze. Imagine walking in the very footsteps of philosophers who shaped the course of human thought, of gods whose myths have echoed through millennia, and of emperors who forged vast and powerful domains. Here in this land of stark contrasts and breathtaking beauty, the ancient world is not merely a distant memory preserved in stone. It is a living, breathing presence woven into the very fabric of the landscape. Welcome to Greece, a place where epic history and idyllic relaxation exist in perfect harmonious balance. Our journey will take us across an archipelago scattered like jewels upon the Aegean Sea, and through a mainland etched with mountains and valleys that have witnessed the rise and fall of civilizations. We will stand in silent awe before structures that have defied the passage of time, their marble columns reaching towards a sky of impossible blue. We will gaze upon sunsets that paint the horizon in hues of fire and gold, transforming whitewashed villages into scenes of almost surreal beauty. This is not just a tour of ancient sites, it is an immersion into a world where legend and reality converge, where every stone tells a story. From the majestic, sun-drenched rock of the Acropolis, a timeless beacon overlooking a bustling modern city, to the ethereal monasteries of Meteora, which seem to float between heaven and earth, we will explore the sheer diversity of this incredible nation. We will trace the whispers of history through quiet olive groves and along rugged coastlines, discovering how the natural world has shaped the destiny of its people, and how, in turn, the people have left their indelible mark upon the land. This is a story of resilience, of ingenuity, and of an enduring connection to the earth itself. So, let us begin. Let us cast aside the noise of the modern world and step into a narrative that has been unfolding for thousands of years. We will journey from the heart of Western civilization to the tranquil shores of secluded islands, uncovering the wonders, both natural and man-made, that make Greece a destination unlike any other on earth. Prepare to be enchanted, to be inspired, and to discover the timeless spirit of a land that has captivated the hearts and minds of humanity for generations. Our epic journey through the wonders of Greece starts now. High above Athens, a flat-topped rock rises, a natural fortress, the sacred heart of the city for 3,000 years. This is the Acropolis. More than buildings, it's a symbol of human achievement. At its pinnacle stands the Parthenon, dedicated to Athena. Even as a ruin, scarred by time, war, and exploration, the Parthenon's power is undiminished. This is the Nix, the meeting place for the Athenian Democratic Assembly. It was the practical application of a revolutionary concept that power should reside with the people. The Erechtheion, with its porch of the Caryatids and the olive tree, a symbol of the city's identity, still grows beside the temple today as the sun sets over Athens, a constant reminder to the city below of its glorious past and its enduring legacy. It is a monument to the enduring power of human creativity and intellect. We travel inland through rugged mountains to Delphi. The ancient Greeks considered Delphi the very center of their world. Overlooking the Gulf of Corinth, it was a spiritual epicenter. Myth says Zeus released two eagles, and where they met was declared the Omphalos, the navel of the world. Pilgrims sought guidance from the oracle of Apollo. The sanctuaries laid out along the sacred way. This path was once lined with treasuries, offerings to Apollo. The treasury of the Athenians showcased wealth and piety. The air is thick with myth. Apollo claimed the site, and the vapors were said to be the breath of the slain beast. Delphi was where the gods spoke to humanity. The temple of Apollo housed the Pythia, the oracle. In divine ecstasy, she became the voice of Apollo. Her prophecies were ambiguous. Above the temple is the theatre where the Pythian games were held. Higher still is the stadium, one of the best preserved in Greece. Delphi celebrated human excellence, a place where mortals sought the divine. We journey to Crete, a land of myth and ancient power. Here lie the remains of Naxos, the epicenter of the Minoan world. Imagine this place in its heyday, adorned with magnificent frescoes. The architecture is a marvel of ingenuity. Unlike the temples of later Greece, Naxos unfolds like a living organism. Advanced drainage systems suggest a remarkable understanding of engineering. As we walk through the central court, we can almost hear the murmur of the crowds that once gathered here. Naxos is forever haunted by the myth of the Minotaur, imprisoned within an inescapable labyrinth. The maze-like layout of Naxos could very well be the historical seed from which the legend grew. The bull becomes the monstrous heart of this terrifying tale. Naxos is a place of duality, a sunlit palace and a shadowy labyrinth. To walk here is to tread the line between history and legend. From the ancient mysteries of Crete, our journey takes us north, across the deep blue expanse of the Aegean Sea, to an island born of cataclysmic fire. This is Santorini, a place of such dramatic and breathtaking beauty that it seems almost to be a landscape from a dream. What we see today, this stunning crescent of cliffs embracing a vast caldera, is the remnant of a colossal volcanic eruption that occurred some 3,500 years ago, one of the largest explosions in human history. It blew the heart out of a single island, shaping the archipelago we see today. The sheer power of this ancient event is difficult to comprehend. It triggered tsunamis that radiated across the Mediterranean and sent a plume of ash into the stratosphere, altering the climate for years to come. Some scholars even speculate that this eruption was the cataclysm that hastened the decline of the Minoan civilization on nearby Crete, a theory that links Santorini's violent birth to the end of another great chapter in our story. The sea that now fills the caldera is a constant, serene reminder of the immense void left behind, a tranquil surface belying the turbulent forces that still sleep beneath. The cliffs themselves are a geological marvel, a painter's palette of volcanic strata. Layers of red, black, and brown rock rise hundreds of meters from the water, telling the story of successive eruptions over millennia. Perched precariously atop these sheer walls are the island's famous villages, clinging to the rim like clusters of brilliant white snow. It is a testament to human resilience and artistry, this ability to build such exquisite settlements in one of the world's most dramatic and geologically active landscapes. The contrast is simply breathtaking. The stark, dark power of the cliffs and the gentle, luminous beauty of the villages. Life here is lived on the edge, both literally and figuratively. Every viewpoint offers a perspective that is humbling, a constant awareness of the scale of nature and our small place within it. The caldera is not just a view, it is the very soul of the island. It dictates the architecture, inspires the art, and shapes the character of the people who call this remarkable place home. To stand on the edge of the caldera is to feel a connection to the deep, formative powers of our planet, to witness a landscape forged in an instant of unimaginable violence and now settled into a state of sublime, peaceful beauty. The human touch on this volcanic canvas is what elevates Santorini from a natural wonder to a cultural icon. The villages of Fira and Oia are masterpieces of Cycladic architecture, a cascade of whitewashed cubist houses, interconnected by a maze of narrow, winding pathways, staircases, and hidden courtyards. This style was not born purely of aesthetics, but of necessity. The thick white walls reflect the intense summer sun, keeping the interiors cool, while the organic, clustered layout provided protection from strong winds and, in centuries past, from marauding pirates. The most iconic features, of course, are the brilliant blue domes of the churches against the stark white of the buildings and the deep azure of the sea and sky. They create a visual harmony that is quintessentially Greek. These domes are more than just architectural elements. They are beacons of faith and symbols of hope, their rounded forms offering a soft contrast to the sharp angles of the houses around them. Finding a new chapel tucked around a hidden corner is one of the great joys of exploring these villages, each one a small, perfect expression of devotion and community spirit. Life in these cliffside towns unfolds at a leisurely pace. Donkeys, for centuries the primary mode of transport, still patiently carry goods and visitors up the steep pathways, their bells providing a gentle, rhythmic soundtrack to the day. Small cafes and tavernas spill out onto tiny terraces, each one offering a front-row seat to one of the most spectacular views on Earth. The air is filled with the scent of bougainvillea and jasmine, mingling with the tantalizing aroma of Greek cuisine being prepared with fresh local ingredients grown in the island's fertile volcanic soil. And then there is the sunset, As the day draws to a close, a quiet reverence descends upon the island. People gather in Oia, on terraces, rooftops, and along the castle walls, all facing west in silent anticipation. The sun, a perfect orb of fire, begins its slow descent, painting the sky in shades of orange, pink, and violet. It bathes the white villages in a warm, golden glow before finally sinking below the horizon, often to a spontaneous round of applause from the spellbound onlookers. It is a daily ritual, a shared moment of wonder that encapsulates the magic of Santorini. Our Aegean exploration continues to an island known for its boundless energy, its chic glamour, and the relentless wind that gives it its name. This is Mykonos, the island of the winds. For centuries, this ever-present force has shaped the landscape and the lives of its inhabitants. And nowhere is this relationship more elegantly expressed than in the island's most enduring icons, the windmills. Standing proudly on the hill overlooking Mykonos town, these stout white figures have faced the northern winds since the 16th century, their sails turning to grind the island's grain. These windmills were the engines of the island's pre-tourism economy, a vital part of a trade network that connected Mykonos with ports across the Mediterranean. Though they no longer serve their original purpose, they remain powerful symbols of the island's industrious past and its deep connection to the natural elements. They stand as silent sentinels, their rounded forms a beautiful contrast to the angular architecture of the town below. To see them silhouetted against the fiery colors of a setting sun is to witness a perfect fusion of human ingenuity and the untamable power of nature. Just below the hill of windmills lies one of the most romantic and picturesque spots in all of Greece, the district known as Little Venice. Here, elegant 2- and 3-story houses have been built right at the water's edge, their colorful wooden balconies hanging directly over the waves. These homes were originally built by wealthy sea captains and merchants in the 18th century, their strategic position allowing them to load and unload goods directly from their private basements. A clever design for both convenience and discretion in the unpredictable world of maritime trade. Today, the ground floors of these historic houses have been transformed into stylish bars, charming cafes, and art galleries. As the sun sets, this waterfront promenade comes alive, offering the perfect vantage point to watch the waves crash gently against the foundations of the buildings. The view back towards the windmills, framed by the vibrant facades of Little Venice, creates a scene of unforgettable charm. It is a place where the island's history as a bustling trade hub merges seamlessly with its modern identity as a haven for sophisticated leisure and vibrant social life. To truly understand Mykonos, one must venture into the heart of its main town, Meteora. It is a classic Cycladic labyrinth, a maze of narrow, stone-paved alleys designed with a specific purpose. This confusing layout was a defensive measure intended to disorient and trap the pirates who once plagued the Aegean islands. Today, the only thing one is likely to get trapped by is the sheer charm of the place. Every turn reveals a new delight, a tiny, whitewashed chapel, a boutique shop displaying high fashion, or a courtyard overflowing with crimson bougainvillea. The streets themselves are part of the aesthetic. The stone pathways are outlined in brilliant white paint, a tradition that not only enhances their beauty, but also adds to the luminous quality of the town, reflecting the bright Aegean light. Getting lost here is not a frustration, but an essential part of the Myconian experience. It encourages a slow, meandering exploration, a surrender to the town's whimsical design. It is in these quiet back streets, away from the bustling waterfront, that one can still find a sense of the old, tranquil island life, coexisting with the vibrant energy of the present. As dusk settles, the character of Mykonos town undergoes a remarkable transformation. The tranquil, sun-drenched labyrinth begins to buzz with a new kind of energy. The soft glow of lanterns illuminates the alleyways, and the gentle murmur of daytime conversation gives way to the sound of music and laughter spilling from the countless bars and restaurants. The town awakens for its second act, revealing the world-famous nightlife for which it is renowned. It is a seamless shift from serene island charm to cosmopolitan chic, a duality that defines the island's modern appeal. This vibrant nightlife is not confined to loud clubs, but encompasses a whole spectrum of experiences. From sophisticated cocktail lounges in Little Venice, where one can watch the stars appear over the sea, to traditional tavernas where the celebration continues late into the night with food, wine, and dancing. The energy is infectious, drawing people from all corners of the globe to partake in this nightly celebration of life. Mykonos, the island of the winds, proves that it is also an island of irresistible currents, pulling everyone into its lively, unforgettable embrace. We journey to Corfu, known as Kerkyra, an emerald jewel in a sapphire sea. Venetian influence has left an indelible mark. For centuries, the Lion of St. Mark held sway, saving Corfu from Ottoman conquest. A unique blend of Greek and Italian culture flourished. The island's capital is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Its labyrinthine alleyways open into sun-drenched squares. Dominating the town is the old fortress built by the Venetians. Below, the esplanade unfolds, one of Europe's largest town squares. Beyond the capital, Corfu reveals its astonishing fertility. Millions of olive trees form a vast, untamed forest. On the west coast, majestic cliffs plunge into turquoise waters. From Mount Pantocrator, a panoramic mosaic of green groves and the Ionian Sea. In mainland Greece lies Meteora, meaning suspended in the air. A fitting name for this geological marvel. Colossal sandstone pillars rise from the plain, crowned by monasteries. In the 9th century, ascetic hermits sought refuge here, followed by monks in the 14th century who built monasteries atop these peaks. Once, 24 monasteries thrived. Today, 6 remain, symbols of humanity's search for the divine. Great Meteoron, Varlam, Rusanu, St. Nicholas Anapapsus, St. Stephen, and Holy Trinity. Inside, frescoes depict scenes from the scriptures. As the sun sets, Meteora is bathed in golden light, a moment of profound beauty. Our journey returns to Crete, to the White Mountains, home to the dramatic Samaria Gorge. This colossal canyon stretches for 16 kilometers. Embarking on this trek is an epic adventure, descending into Crete's geological soul. The trail begins at Xyloskalo, the wooden staircase. The air is scented with pine and wild herbs. This protected reserve is a sanctuary for Crete's unique flora and fauna. Keep an eye out for the cry-cree, the Cretan wild goat found nowhere else. Halfway lies the abandoned village of Samaria, inhabited until 1962. The Portes, or Iron Gates, is the gorge's narrowest point. Here, 300-meter walls close to just 4 meters wide. Walking through this corridor is an awe-inspiring experience. The trail ends at Agia Rumeli, accessible only by foot or boat. Plunge into the cool water, washing away the trail's dust. The Samaria Gorge is an immersion in nature's power, connecting you to ancient Crete. Here on the Ionian island of Zakynthos, nature has conspired with human misadventure to create a scene of almost impossible beauty. This is Navaggio Beach, more famously known as Shipwreck Cove. It is a place where the land seems to have been cleaved open, revealing a heart of pure white sand, cradled by sheer limestone cliffs that soar towards the heavens. The water, a shade of turquoise so vivid it appears almost unreal, laps gently at the shore. This isolated cove is a testament to the dramatic forces that shape our planet, a secluded paradise accessible only by the sea that both created and now guards it so jealously. The cliffs, ancient and weathered by millennia of wind and water, stand as silent sentinels. Their stark white faces are etched with the stories of geological time, providing a dramatic backdrop to the serene theatre below. They are not merely rock, they are the bones of the island, a fortress of solitude that has kept this small pocket of the world hidden from the mainland's gaze. It is this very isolation that has preserved its pristine character, allowing the elements to compose a masterpiece without the constant interference of the wider world. The sun cascades over their precipitous edges, casting long, shifting shadows across the sand throughout the day. And then there is the sea itself, the true artist of this landscape. Its color is a phenomenon born of the unique geology. The limestone sediment suspended in the water scatters the sunlight, reflecting back this breathtaking milky blue hue. It is an alchemical process, turning simple water into a liquid jewel. From a distance, the bay appears as a splash of brilliant aquamarine, a stark and beautiful contrast against the deep sapphire blue of the surrounding Ionian Sea. To approach it by boat is to feel as if you are crossing a threshold into another, more vibrant reality. This is a sanctuary forged by the patient, relentless power of the ocean. For centuries, waves have battered these cliffs, carving out this secluded haven, grain by grain. The fine, powdery sand underfoot is the result of this tireless erosion, the pulverized remnants of the very cliffs that now shelter it. Every element here is in perfect, harmonious balance, the stark power of the rock, the gentle persistence of the water, and the brilliant generosity of the sun. It is a place that feels both ancient and eternally new, a pristine canvas where nature's grandest drama is played out daily. Resting at the heart of this natural amphitheatre lies a curious man-made intruder, the wreck of the motor vessel Panayotis. Beached upon the sand, its rusted hull tells a story of a journey cut short, a final dramatic act that has become the cove's defining feature. In 1980, this small coaster, allegedly smuggling contraband, ran aground here in stormy weather while being pursued by the Navy. It is a peculiar monument, a testament to human fallibility, now slowly surrendering itself to the very elements it once sought to conquer. The sea that claimed it now cradles it. Over the decades, the shipwreck has become an inseparable part of the ecosystem. Salt and spray have worked tirelessly upon its steel frame, transforming it from a vessel of commerce into a skeletal sculpture of rust reds and oranges. It is a stark industrial form slowly being reclaimed by the organic world. Sand has drifted into its hollowed-out hull, and the relentless sun has bleached its remaining paintwork. It no longer seems out of place. Rather, it has been adopted by the landscape, becoming as much a feature of the beach as the pebbles and the cliffs themselves. The wreck provides a focal point, a narrative anchor in this otherwise timeless scene. It draws the eye and the imagination, prompting questions about its past and its dramatic arrival. It is a story frozen in time, a silent witness to the power of the sea and the fragility of human endeavor. This single object transforms the beach from a place of pure, natural beauty into a destination with a legend, a myth in the making. Visitors are drawn not just by the turquoise water, but by the allure of this modern ruin, a romantic and mysterious icon. And so, the Panayotis continues its slow, inexorable decay. Each passing year, it sinks a little deeper into the sand, its metal skin flaking away like shedding bark. It has become a habitat of sorts, a curious, artificial reef on dry land, explored by tourists instead of fish. It serves as a powerful reminder that no matter what we build, no matter how we try to navigate the globe, nature ultimately has the final say. Here, in this perfect cove, a smuggler's ship has found an unlikely and beautiful final resting place, forever part of the Greek wonder it accidentally created. We travel now to the Peloponnese Peninsula, to the steep slopes of Mount Taygetos. Here, clinging to the mountainside, is Maestras, a place of profound silence and lingering memory. This is not a ruin of the classical age, but a remarkably preserved ghost town from the Byzantine era. To walk its cobbled streets is to step back into the final, glorious flourish of an empire that lasted 1,000 years. The city, once a thriving capital of the Byzantine despotate of the Samaria, is now a hauntingly beautiful echo of its former self, its palaces, monasteries and homes, standing in silent testament to a lost world. The city rises in tiers up the hillside, a labyrinth of stone pathways, archways and staircases. At its zenith stands the fortress built in the 13th century by the Frankish crusader William II of Bilhardouin. It was from this strategic vantage point that the city grew, cascading down the slopes below. The air here is thick with history. Every stone seems to hold the whispers of the scholars, artists and despots who once walked these very paths. The scent of wild thyme and oregano carried on the mountain breeze mingles with the coolness of ancient stone, creating an atmosphere that is at once melancholic and deeply serene. Exploring Maestras is a journey through the layers of its past. The upper city, the Castro, is dominated by the fortress and the grand palace of the despot, a complex of buildings that showcases the sophisticated architecture of the era. Below, in the lower city, one finds the beautifully preserved churches, their domes and bell towers punctuating the skyline. These are not empty shells. Within their walls, astonishingly vibrant frescoes have survived for centuries, their colours still glowing with an inner light, depicting saints and emperors with a solemn, ethereal grace that was the hallmark of Byzantine art. The city was abandoned in the 1830s. its inhabitants moving to the newly established modern town of Sparta in the valley below. This act of desertion is what preserved Mistras, freezing it in time. It was never built over, never modernized. It was simply left to the elements, to be slowly reclaimed by the olive groves and cypress trees that now grow among its walls. It is this slow, gentle return to nature that gives Mistras its unique poetic power, a place where the grandeur of human history quietly coexists with the patient rhythms of the wild. Within the quiet expanse of Mistras, the monasteries remain as islands of living faith. While the city around them has fallen silent, a handful of these sacred spaces are still active, most notably the monastery of Pantanassa. Here, a small community of nuns continues the centuries-old traditions of Byzantine monasticism. Their presence provides a vital, beating heart within the stone skeleton of the old city. The sound of their chanting, echoing through the church, is a living link to the spiritual fervor that once defined this place, a thread of continuity stretching back across 700 years. The churches of Mistras are jewels of Byzantine architecture and art. The metropolis, or cathedral of Agios Demetrios, is a fascinating complex, its floor adorned with a carved stone eagle, marking the very spot where the last Byzantine emperor, Constantine XI Palaiologos, was crowned. To stand on this spot is to feel the immense weight of history. Nearby, the monastery of Perivleptos is built cleverly into a cave, its interior almost completely covered in breathtaking 14th century frescoes. These paintings are a masterclass in storytelling, their dynamic compositions and emotional depth, drawing the viewer into the sacred narratives of the faith. The artists who created these works were masters of their craft, part of the Palaiologan Renaissance, a final brilliant burst of cultural and artistic energy before the fall of the Byzantine Empire. They worked with natural pigments on wet plaster, creating images that were meant not merely to decorate, but to educate and inspire profound contemplation. The figures of saints and angels gaze down from the domes and apses with large, almond-shaped eyes, their expressions serene and otherworldly. In the dim, hallowed light of the churches, these images seem to come alive, windows into a spiritual realm. Today, Mistras is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, protected for its immense historical and artistic value. It is a place for quiet wandering and reflection. As you move from the grandeur of the despot's palace to the intimate sacred spaces of the monasteries, you feel the city's dual identity, a center of worldly power and a beacon of spiritual devotion. It is a landscape of memory where every crumbling wall and faded fresco tells a story of glory, faith, and the inevitable silent passage of time. It stands as a profound monument to the enduring legacy of Byzantium. Our journey returns us to a landscape that seems born of fantasy, a place where geology and faith have merged to create one of the most extraordinary sights on Earth. This is Meteora. But this time, our focus is not on the geology alone, but on the profound spiritual serenity that these pillars of rock have inspired. For over 1,000 years, this has been a sanctuary for Orthodox Christian monks. They came here seeking solitude, a place to retreat from the world and move closer to God. And in these surreal columns of stone, they found the perfect otherworldly setting for their devotion. The story of Meteora's monasticism begins with hermit monks who, as early as the 9th century, sought refuge in the small caves and fissures that pockmark these great rock towers. They lived lives of extreme asceticism, relying on local people for food, which would be hoisted up to them in baskets. They were true anchorites, living between heaven and earth, their solitude broken only by the cry of the wind and the call to prayer. These early hermits laid the spiritual foundation for the great monastic communities that would follow, sanctifying these rocks with their unwavering faith and endurance. The establishment of the organized monasteries began in the 14th century, a time of political instability and invasion. The monks, seeking greater security from the turmoil in the plains below, began the almost impossible task of building their communities atop the pillars. The monastery of Great Meteoron, the largest and oldest, was founded around 1340. The sheer logistics of its construction are staggering. Every stone, every beam of wood, every icon and manuscript had to be hauled up the sheer cliff face using a system of ropes, nets, and pulleys, a process that took decades of relentless, back-breaking labor. This immense effort was an act of supreme devotion, The monasteries were not merely shelters, they were conceived as celestial fortresses, bastions of faith suspended high above the troubles of the mortal world. For centuries, the only way to reach them was by being hauled up in a net, a terrifying ascent that required absolute trust in God and in the rope. This physical separation from the world below was crucial. It fostered a unique spiritual environment, a community entirely dedicated to prayer and contemplation, its silence broken only by the rhythm of the liturgy and the whisper of the wind. Of the 24 monasteries that once graced these pinnacles, only 6 remain active today. They are home to small communities of monks and nuns who carry on the sacred traditions of their predecessors, while staircases carved into the rock in the 1920s now provide easier access for pilgrims and visitors. The sense of profound isolation and spiritual dedication remains palpable. To step inside one of these sanctuaries, such as the monastery of Varlam or the nunnery of Rusanu, is to enter a world governed by a different clock, one that measures time in prayer cycles and seasons of faith. The interiors of these monasteries are treasuries of Byzantine and post-Byzantine art. The chapels, or catholicons, are adorned with magnificent frescoes, painted by some of the finest iconographers of their time. These murals cover every available surface, depicting scenes from the Bible, the lives of the saints, and the harrowing vision of the Last Judgment. They were created to be books for the illiterate, transforming the stone walls into vibrant tapestries of sacred story, immersing the monks in a constant visual meditation on the divine. The colors, rich and deep, seem to glow in the candlelight. Life here, though no longer as precarious, is still one of discipline and devotion. The day is structured around a cycle of prayer and work known as ora et labora. The monks tend to the monastery, maintain the ancient buildings, welcome pilgrims, and dedicate long hours to their spiritual practice. In these serene sky-high cloisters, they preserve not only the physical structures, but also a priceless intangible heritage, a library of rare manuscripts, a collection of sacred relics, and a deep, unbroken tradition of orthodox spirituality that has weathered the storms of history for centuries. Meteora is therefore more than a geological marvel. It is a testament to the enduring power of human faith. It represents the lengths to which people will go to find a connection with the divine. The sight of these monasteries, seemingly floating in the sky amidst the morning mist, is a profoundly moving experience. It speaks of a longing for transcendence, for a life elevated above the ordinary. Here, on these pillars of rock, humanity reached for the heavens, and in doing so, created a masterpiece of spiritual architecture in perfect, breathtaking harmony with the natural world. Here, amidst the Cyclades, lies Delos, a sun-bleached island cradled by the deep blue Aegean Sea. Myth claims it as the birthplace of Apollo and Artemis, transforming it into the spiritual heart of the Greek world. As we wander through its sprawling ruins, we tread upon consecrated ground. Imagine processions of pilgrims, their hymns echoing towards Apollo's grand temple. The terrace of the Lion stands as stoic marble guardians, weathered by time. Ships approached its harbour, aware of entering a sacred realm. Powerful city-states declared truces for safe passage to the Delian festivals, a neutral ground where commerce, politics, and religion intertwined. Today it's a vast museum, revealing a city rich through faith. Intricate mosaics adorned homes, reflecting a vibrant multicultural society. The House of Dionysus, with its spectacular mosaics, offers a glimpse into luxurious lives. The residential quarter, remarkably preserved, feels like stepping back 2,000 years. Astonishing mosaic floors, masterpieces of artistry, depict scenes from mythology and daily life. Abandoned after devastating raids, Delos was never rebuilt, offering a pure vision of an ancient city, a silent testament to the rise and fall of a great sanctuary. We arrive now on the island of Rhodes, where the past is a living city. At its heart lies the Old Town, one of the best preserved medieval settlements, a fortress built by the Knights of St. John. Our journey begins on the Street of the Knights, an architectural marvel. On either side stand the inns, the headquarters for the knights. At the pinnacle stands the magnificent palace of the Grand Master, transformed by the knights into their administrative center. Beyond the formal grandeur, the old town transforms into a vibrant labyrinth. Narrow alleyways twist and turn unexpectedly. Gothic arches stand beside Ottoman mosques. It is a place that invites you to get lost and discover its secrets. The past and present coexist here in harmony. As the sun sets, the stone of the city walls glows with a warm light. To stroll through this enchanted city at night is to feel its history come alive. Our journey takes us to Naxos, the largest of the Cycladic islands, a place of surprising diversity. Towering mountains give way to fertile valleys and spectacular beaches. We explore the celebrated southwestern coast, a continuous stretch of fine golden sand dissolving into turquoise waters. Here lies Agios Prokopios, consistently ranked among Europe's best beaches. Nearby, Agia Anna offers a relaxed atmosphere with shady cedar trees. Continuing south, we arrive at Plaka, embodying the wild spirit of Naxos. A vast ribbon of pale sand stretches towards the horizon, backed by protected dunes. Enjoy authentic Naxian cuisine at scattered tavernas behind the dunes. As the day closes, Plaka offers a serene sunset, a perfect end to a day on Naxos. Here, where the Thermaic Gulf kisses the shores of Macedonia, thrives Thessaloniki, Greece's second city where the past and present merge. For centuries, this has been a crossroads for empires and cultures. The city's heart beats strongest along its waterfront. The iconic White Tower stands as a silent sentinel. The Anopoli, or Upper Town, is a labyrinth of survival. As daylight fades, a remarkable transformation occurs across the city. To truly understand the soul of Thessaloniki, one must explore its food scene. The city's markets, like the famous Modiano and Kapani, are the beating heart of this culinary world. Or the Koulouri, a simple sesame bread ring. As evening descends, the city's social life converges in the Ladadika district. Here, the concept of meze reigns supreme, small plates designed for sharing. We return to Athens, a city of incredible contrasts. The ancient heart still beats, resonating through the modern metropolis. Life unfolds in a unique rhythm, where ancient streets meet modern life. The ancient agora offers a serene oasis amidst the city's clamor. This blend of ancient and contemporary is a dynamic interplay. Neighborhoods like Siri and Ghazi have transformed into epicenters of creative life. This rebirth is fueled by a youthful energy, redefining the city's identity. The Athens metro became an unexpected archaeological museum displaying layers of the city's past. Athens reveals itself as a city of resilience, where the past is an active participant in the present. We journey to Meteora, a landscape born of a dream. Here, immense pillars of dark rock reach for the heavens. Sculpted by wind and water, they dominate the plain of Thessaly. This elemental place tells a story written in stone. In the 11th century, monks sought refuge here. They built monasteries atop these peaks, an endeavor of faith. Of the 24 monasteries, 6 remain active today. Each is a masterpiece of Byzantine architecture. To visit them is to step into another world. The monks and nuns continue their ancient traditions. It is an extraordinary fusion of nature and human aspiration. Standing on a balcony, one feels a connection to those who saw a pathway to heaven. Here, on the Argolic Gulf, lies Nafplio, a jewel of the Peloponnese which once held the extraordinary distinction of being the first capital of the newly formed Greek state. The city's architecture is a testament to its varied past. Venetian fortifications loom over neoclassical mansions. Above the terracotta rooftops, the formidable silhouette of the Palamidi fortress dominates the skyline, a masterpiece of Venetian military engineering. At the entrance to the harbour stands the Borzi, a small but iconic sea fortress. Syntagma Square is the city's vibrant heart, a place of gathering and civic pride. It is here that the modern history of Greece was truly shaped, including the first Hellenic parliament. Strolling along the Arvanicia promenade, a scenic coastal path that hugs the base of the cliffs, one experiences the profound connection between Nafplio and its natural setting, forever looking outward to the endless blue horizon. Here on the northwestern coast of Crete lies Chania, a harbour town that wears its history as a living garment. The Venetian lighthouse stands as a silent sentinel. The waterfront is a grand amphitheatre of human activity. Pastel-hued facades of Venetian-era buildings lean into one another, their balconies draped in bougainvillea. Tavernas and cafes hum with conversation. Behind this vibrant facade, narrow, winding alleyways beckon. The municipal market, or the Dimoptiki Agora, is the city's stomach and its soul. The air is a heady concoction of scents, freshly baked bread, sharp local cheeses. Here, the sheer abundance of Crete's fertile land is on full display. The surrounding streets transform into a sprawling bazaar. Here one finds workshops where leatherworkers fashion sandals and bags. This vibrant ecosystem of markets and workshops is the lifeblood of Chania's old town, a daily celebration of community, craftsmanship, and the incredible generosity of the Cretan earth. We return to Santorini, to Fira, the island's bustling capital, clinging to the cliffs of the caldera. The town is a cascade of whitewashed houses, a brilliant contrast against the dark volcanic rock. Navigating Fira is an adventure through a maze of narrow pathways. Every corner offers a new, impossibly beautiful vista. Further along the caldera's northern tip, we find Oia, possessing a more serene, almost dreamlike quality. It is a place where boutique hotels with infinity pools seem to melt into the horizon. The iconic windmills stand as proud relics of a bygone era. Oia is a carefully curated masterpiece, designed for contemplation. As the day wanes, people converge on Oia to witness the sunset. It is a shared ritual to witness one of the planet's most celebrated natural spectacles, the sunset from Oia. The sun begins its slow descent and the light transforms. It bathes the whitewashed walls in a warm, ethereal glow. The sun begins to paint with a palette of astonishing colors. As the sun's disk finally touches the horizon, it appears to melt into the sea. The village, the cliffs, the sea, and the sky are all united in this transient spectacle. The crowd erupts into spontaneous applause, a thank you to the sun. It is the perfect conclusion to a day in Santorini, a masterpiece of nature. Our journey through this storied land draws to a close, but the echoes of its wonders remain. From the hallowed stones of the Acropolis, where the very idea of democracy first took flight, to the mystical pronouncements of the oracle at Delphi, which shaped the fate of kings and empires, we have walked the labyrinthine corridors of Naxos, haunted by the myth of the Minotaur, and marveled at the monasteries of Meteora, reaching for the heavens from their impossible perches. We have felt the deep spiritual silence of Delos and navigated the medieval fortifications of Rhodes, each step a conversation with the past. Greece, we have discovered, is a land of profound and startling contrasts. It is the raw, untamed beauty of the Samaria Gorge and the serene turquoise waters of Nafplio beach. It is the vibrant, modern energy of Athens and Thessaloniki, cities humming with life, their streets a feast for the senses, their culinary traditions a celebration of the earth's bounty. It is the quiet romance of Nafplio's seaside charm and the haunting beauty of Moistris, a ghost town that whispers tales of Byzantine glory. It is a landscape that challenges the body, nourishes the soul, and ignites the imagination at every turn. We end where the sun puts on its most spectacular show on the cliffs of Santorini, watching the sky blaze with color before a captivated audience. This single moment encapsulates the essence of the Greek experience, a perfect fusion of breathtaking natural beauty, ancient history, and a way of life that cherishes the simple, profound joys of being. Greece is more than just a destination. It's a time machine, a culinary paradise, and a masterpiece of nature. Which spot stole your heart? We invite you to continue the journey in your own memories and dreams. Like, subscribe, and comment your favorite place below. The story of Greece is vast, and every visitor adds their own chapter. By sharing your experience, you become part of its continuing narrative. Thank you for joining us on this epic voyage through the wonders of Greece. Until our paths cross again on another adventure, may you carry a piece of its timeless beauty with you.